Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Dr. Isabella Norris, and for more than 15 years, I've been sitting across from folks just like you in my clinic, talking about blood sugar, talking about what to eat, what to skip, and how to actually enjoy life while managing diabetes. Now, before we jump in today, I want you to know something. I'm not going to waste your time. I know a lot of you have told me in the comments, Doc, just get to the point. I hear you loud and clear. So today, we're cutting the fluff. I'm giving you 8 fruits, real numbers, real advice, and I'm going to answer the questions a lot of you have been asking me, especially about apples, grapes, and how much is too much. Stick with me till the end, because the last 2 fruits on this list are the ones almost nobody talks about, and they might just be the most powerful of the bunch. Now, let me say this straight up before we start. A lot of you have asked me, which kind of apple, which kind of grape, how many can I eat? I'm going to answer every single one of those questions as we go, and I want to be crystal clear about one thing. Even the best fruit in the world, eaten in huge amounts, will spike your blood sugar. Portion matters. Doctors matter. Don't swap your medication for a fruit bowl. We good? All right, let's get into it. Coming in at number 8, we have the apple. Now I know, this one sounds basic, but hear me out, because there's a reason the old saying about an apple a day has stuck around for a century. Apples are loaded with soluble fiber, and specifically a type of fiber called pectin. Pectin is kind of a quiet hero in the world of diabetes. What it does is slow down how fast sugar gets absorbed into your bloodstream after you eat. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that the pectin in apples can actually reduce the rate of glucose absorption after a meal. That means no sudden spike, no crash an hour later. Just a slow, steady release. For those of you managing type 2 diabetes, that kind of stability is gold. Now, a bunch of you ask me, Dr. Norris, does it matter which apple I pick? Great question, and here's the honest answer. Green apples, like Granny Smith, have a little less sugar than red apples like Red Delicious or Gala. But truthfully, any whole apple with the skin on is a solid choice. The skin is where most of the fiber lives, so please don't peel it. And ignore anybody trying to sell you some special light apple. That's not a real thing. A regular apple from your local grocery store in Ohio, Texas, or anywhere else in the country, that's all you need. Research out of Harvard Medical School also found that the fiber in apples helps your body use insulin more effectively. That's called improving insulin sensitivity, and it's one of the biggest battles for anybody with type 2 diabetes. The American Diabetes Association lists apples as having a glycemic index of about 38, which is low. Low GI foods are your best friends. A study in the journal Diabetes Care found that eating 1 apple a day can lower your post-meal blood sugar by about 4 to 6% over time. That might sound small, but over months and years, that's the difference between stable numbers and a whole cabinet full of new prescriptions. 1 medium apple a day, skin on, eaten as a snack between meals. That's the sweet spot. All right, number 7 on our list is the cherry. Now, cherries are something special, and most folks think of them as a summer treat, maybe something you throw on top of an ice cream sundae at a 4th of July cookout. But cherries, especially tart cherries, like the Montmorency variety grown up in Michigan, are one of the best kept secrets in diabetes nutrition. Here's why. Cherries are packed with anthocyanins. That's a long word, but all you need to know is that anthocyanins are powerful antioxidants that reduce inflammation in the body. They also help protect the beta cells in your pancreas, which are the cells that actually produce insulin. Protect those cells, and your body keeps doing its job. Researchers at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that regular cherry consumption may lower the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by as much as 30%. 30% everyone. That's a huge number in the world of nutrition research. And on top of that, cherries have a very low glycemic index, right around 22. That is one of the lowest of any fruit on the planet. So when you eat cherries, your blood sugar doesn't jump. It stays flat and calm. Now, here's something a lot of my older male patients don't realize. Cherries also help reduce something called oxidative stress. That's the wear and tear on your cells that comes with aging and with chronic conditions like diabetes and heart disease. The National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases says that eating foods rich in antioxidants, like the vitamin C and polyphenols in cherries, is critical for reducing the long-term complications of diabetes, especially the ones that affect your heart and your circulation. How much? A cup of fresh cherries, which is about 20 to 25 cherries, is a perfect portion. Eat them fresh, toss them in plain Greek yogurt, or freeze them and blend into a smoothie. Just skip the maraschino cherries in the jar. Those are soaked in syrup and are basically candy. Stick with fresh or frozen unsweetened, and your body will thank you. Number 6 is the pear. And I'll be honest with you, the pear is one of the most underrated fruits in the American grocery store. Everybody grabs apples, bananas, oranges. The poor pear just sits there. But for folks managing diabetes, the pear is a gem. It's loaded with fiber, more than most apples actually, and a big chunk of that is pectin, the same soluble fiber I told you about earlier. Pectin slows down how fast sugar moves from your digestive system into your bloodstream. Research published in the Journal of Nutrition backs this up. The pectin in pears can reduce the rate of sugar absorption and help keep your blood sugar steady over the long haul. But pears don't just bring fiber to the table. They're also rich in vitamin C, which supports your immune system and helps reduce inflammation. And they give you a healthy dose of potassium, which is a mineral that helps regulate your blood pressure and keeps your heart muscle strong. Now, this is especially important for the men watching this. As we get older, heart disease risk goes up, and when you add diabetes into the mix, that risk goes even higher. So foods like pears that support both blood sugar and heart health, those are what I call double duty foods. The glycemic index of a pear is about 38, same as an apple. That means slow, steady energy. The American Diabetes Association has long pointed out that low GI foods help improve insulin sensitivity and reduce the chance of those sudden blood sugar spikes that leave you feeling shaky and worn out. For a lot of you asking about portions, 1 medium pear a day is perfect. Eat it fresh with the skin on, slice it into a salad with some walnuts and spinach, or pair it with a small piece of sharp cheddar cheese for a snack. That combination of fiber, healthy fat, and a little protein is a blood sugar hero. Coming in at number 5, the peach. Now, peaches remind me of summer afternoons down in Georgia, where some of the best peaches in America are grown. If you've ever had a fresh Georgia peach straight off the tree, you know what I'm talking about. But beyond the flavor, peaches are genuinely good for people managing diabetes. They're packed with antioxidants and phenolic compounds, which are natural plant chemicals that help improve insulin sensitivity. How does that work? These compounds slow down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream, meaning you don't get that nasty blood sugar spike after eating. According to research published in the Journal of Food Biochemistry, peaches can help your body use insulin more efficiently, keeping your glucose levels more stable. On top of that, peaches help lower blood pressure in the arteries, which is huge for diabetic men because you all are at higher risk for heart disease and stroke. Peaches are a solid source of potassium, just like pears, and the American Diabetes Association has pointed out that potassium-rich foods have a protective effect against high blood pressure. That's a double win right there. Blood sugar control and heart support. Peaches also have a low glycemic index, so they won't jack up your blood sugar the way refined carbs or sugary snacks do. 1 medium fresh peach is a perfect serving. And here's my favorite tip. Slice a peach over a bowl of plain oatmeal in the morning, add a spoonful of chopped almonds, and you've got a breakfast that tastes like a diner special, but keeps your numbers in check. Just stay away from canned peaches and heavy syrup. Those are basically dessert. Always go fresh or frozen unsweetened. All right, number 4 is the kiwi. A lot of folks overlook this little fuzzy green fruit, but the kiwi is a powerhouse for diabetes control. First off, kiwis have a low glycemic index, so they're an excellent choice if you're worried about spiking after a meal. One of the best things about kiwi is its high fiber content, particularly soluble fiber. That kind of fiber doesn't just help keep your blood sugar stable, it also helps with digestion, which is a big deal for a lot of older men who deal with constipation or sluggish digestion as they age. A study in the Journal of Nutrition found that people who regularly eat kiwi experience fewer blood sugar fluctuations than those who don't. That's because kiwi has this unique ability to modulate how sugar is absorbed in the intestines. And kiwis are loaded with vitamin C. In fact, 1 kiwi has more vitamin C than an orange. They're also rich in polyphenols, which are anti-inflammatory antioxidants. Controlling inflammation is one of the most important things you can do when you have diabetes. Chronic inflammation makes complications worse and damages insulin sensitivity over time. For portions, 2 kiwis a day is a great amount. Slice them up, eat them with a spoon like a soft-boiled egg, or throw them into a fruit salad with strawberries and blueberries. They're practical, portable, and one of the most nutrient-dense fruits you can buy at your local supermarket. Number 3 is the plum. Now, plums are another one of those fruits a lot of people walk right past in the produce aisle, but they are fantastic for diabetes management. What makes plums stand out is their high fiber content, including prebiotics, which feed the good bacteria in your gut. A balanced gut microbiome affects how your body absorbs nutrients and how well it controls blood sugar. Research in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that prebiotic-rich fruits like plums can help reduce digestive problems, including constipation, which, as I mentioned, is a common complaint among older men. Improving your gut health can also boost your overall metabolic function, which means better blood sugar control across the board. But plums don't just help with digestion. Their natural sweetness is satisfying without being dangerous. Because plums contain soluble fiber, they help keep you feeling full longer, which cuts down on those unnecessary snack runs that can blow up your blood sugar. And best of all, plums are a low glycemic index fruit. A study in diabetes care found that swapping high GI fruits for low GI ones like plums can make a real difference in keeping your blood sugar stable and reducing your risk of diabetes complications down the road. 2 fresh plums a day is a reasonable portion. You can also try prunes, which are just dried plums, but be careful because they are much higher in sugar and calories by volume. 2 or 3 prunes is plenty. All right, now we're getting to the top 2. Number 2 on my list is the berry family, and I'm going to group these together because they all pack a similar punch. I'm talking blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. Berries are, in my professional opinion, the single best category of fruit for anyone with diabetes. Period. They have the lowest sugar content of almost any fruit, the highest antioxidant levels, and they're loaded with fiber. Blueberries, in particular, the ones grown up in Maine or New Jersey, have been studied extensively. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that eating 1 cup of blueberries a day significantly improved insulin sensitivity in adults at risk for diabetes. 1 cup every day, and measurable improvement. That's incredible. Strawberries have been shown to reduce inflammation and lower the risk of heart complications, which again matters a lot for older men. Raspberries are the highest in fiber of any berry, with about 8 grams per cup. That's more fiber than most slices of whole wheat bread. Blackberries bring a strong dose of vitamin K and manganese, which support bone health, something a lot of men over 60 need to pay more attention to. A cup of mixed berries a day is the magic number. Fresh or frozen, it doesn't matter. Frozen berries are just as nutritious as fresh and often cheaper. Throw them on yogurt, blend them into a shake with some protein powder, or eat them by the handful as a snack. Stay away from berry jams, berry pies, and berry flavored. Anything in a box. Those are loaded with added sugar. Stick to the real thing. And now the number 1 fruit on my list. This is the one almost nobody expects. The avocado. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Dr. Norris, is an avocado even a fruit? Technically, yes. It's a fruit, specifically a large berry with a single seed. And it might be the most powerful blood sugar-friendly fruit on the entire planet. Here's why. Avocados are almost 0 sugar. I'm serious. A whole medium avocado has less than 1 gram of sugar. Compare that to an apple, which has about 19 grams. That alone puts avocados in a league of their own. But that's not even the best part. Avocados are packed with monounsaturated fats, the same healthy fats found in olive oil. These fats actually improve insulin sensitivity and reduce the inflammation that drives diabetes complications. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that people who ate half an avocado with lunch had better blood sugar control for the rest of the day compared to those who didn't. Avocados are also incredibly high in fiber. A single avocado has about 10 grams of fiber, which is more than most people get in an entire day. That fiber slows digestion, keeps you full for hours, and prevents those mid-afternoon blood sugar crashes that make you reach for a candy bar. They're also loaded with potassium, even more than a banana, which supports your heart and helps control blood pressure. For my older male patients especially, avocados are a gift. The healthy fats support testosterone production naturally, the potassium protects your heart, the fiber supports your digestion and blood sugar, and the vitamin E helps with skin, eyes, and overall cellular health. Half an avocado a day is a perfect portion. Mash it on a slice of whole grain toast with a little salt and pepper, slice it into a salad, or add it to scrambled eggs in the morning. Just don't drown it in tortilla chips and salsa at your local Mexican restaurant. Moderation, everyone. Now, before we wrap up, I want to address something several of you have asked me about. A lot of folks have seen grapes on other diabetes fruit lists and have been confused. Dr. Norris, don't grapes raise blood sugar? Here's the honest truth. Grapes have a medium glycemic index, higher than most of the fruits we talked about today. Red and purple grapes do contain some beneficial antioxidants called resveratrol, but they're also higher in natural sugars. If you love grapes, limit yourself to about 15 to 17 grapes at a time, and always pair them with a protein or fat, like a handful of almonds or a piece of cheese. That slows down the sugar absorption. But honestly, if you're choosing between grapes and any of the 8 fruits I mentioned today, go with the list. They're better choices. Let me give you a quick recap. Apples, cherries, pears, peaches, kiwi, plums, berries, and avocados. That's your list. 8 fruits, real science, real benefits. Eat them fresh, eat them with the skin on when possible, stick to the portions I mentioned, and always pair fruit with a protein or healthy fat if you can. That little habit alone will make a massive difference in your blood sugar numbers. And one more thing, because I always tell this to my patients, fruit is powerful, but it's not a substitute for your medication, your exercise, or your regular checkups with your doctor. I've had patients over the years who got so excited about natural approaches that they stopped taking their meds without telling anyone. And let me tell you, that's a dangerous road. Talk to your doctor, keep your appointments, and use these fruits as part of a bigger, smarter plan. If this helped you today, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel reach more people who need this information. Drop a comment below and tell me which fruit on this list you're going to add to your grocery cart this week. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, because next week I'm doing a video on the 5 fruits diabetics absolutely need to avoid, and some of them are going to shock you. Take care of yourselves, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Dr. Isabella Norris signing off.